March 20th, and happy birthday goes out to Lyakonius and CorgiCam!
Happy birthday.
So if you've never seen one of these videos before, I
haven't.
In these videos, I go through a list of all the people who share a birthday with the day in question, and then a list of all the things that happened on this day in history. So, since it's March 20th, that is the birthdays of the following people, besides Lyakonius and CorgiCam, of course. We have Danny Oscar Garcia, championship welterweight boxer. He turns 36. Next is YouTuber Danger Dolan, Australian Marshmallow Man VTuber, voice actor, and narrator. Dolan is the main host and CEO of Planet Dolan, a multi-channel entertainment company with several YouTube channels, ranging from fact countdowns, Reddit stories, and gaming. He turns 38. Next is Ruby Rose, Australian model, Kate Keane in Season 1 of CW's Batwoman, and gender activist. She turns 38.
She was in the John Wicks.
Yes, John Wick Chapter 2. Next is Christy Carlson Romano, best known as Ren Stevens on Even Stevens, and the voice of Kim Possible. Kim Possible. She turns 40.
Yeah, the climbing gear version of her is hanging on the ceiling where I get electrolysis. So I stare at this. If we're not playing a video, I'm looking at Kim Possible sneaking into the electrolysis room.
Next is Nick Blood, a British actor best known as Lance Hunter in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He also turns 42. Nick Wheeler, lead guitarist of All-American Rejects. He turns 42 as well.
And even when all hope is gone, carry on like I know you do. If the words are wrong, I'll leave hate comments down below.
Hey, you've asked people to leave comments on previous videos telling you what other songs they want you to sing. Next is Mikey Day, writer and actor for Saturday Night Live and host of Is It Cake? He turns 44.
The cake is real.
Next is Bianca Lawson, who plays Megan Jones in Saved by the Bell, The New Class. Kendra Young in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Rosalind on The Steve Harvey Show. Nikki Green from Dawson's Creek. Maya St. Germain in Pretty Little Liars. And Marin Morrill in 2012's Teen Wolf series. She turns 45. Freema Agyeman is Martha Jones in Doctor Who and Torchwood. And Dr. Helen Sharp in New Amsterdam.
Yeah,
she turns 45.
Oh, yeah. Albumin is also the white stuff in an egg.
I think that's albumin.
No. It says albumin right there. I see
No, the egg thing. Anyway, next is Chester Bennington, the lead vocalist of Grey Days, Dead by Sunrise, and Stone Temple Pilots, and Linkin Park. He was 41 when he passed, and if he were alive today, he'd be 48.
Oh, yeah.
Next is Cedric Yarborough, who played Deputy S. Jones in Reno 911. Kenneth Clemens on Speechless. Officer Meow Meow Fuzzy Face on BoJack Horseman. Chocolate Giddy Up on The Black Dynamite. And Tom Dubois and Colonel Stinkmeaner on The Boondocks, which I did not know he did both those characters.
He did Stinkmeaner.
Yeah, right? And Vic on The Goldbergs. He turns 51.
Yeah, that's Jonesy if you're watching Reno 911. They don't ever really call him by his real name.
Oh, really? That is weird that they didn't put that as his character's name. Usually they do those sorts of things. Anyway, Christopher Hines, American businessman and heir to the Heinz ketchup fortune. He turns 51.
Delicious. It is the best. It's the #1 ketchup brand for a reason.
And it's also the Heinz Convention Center is where Anthrocon takes place.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, some of the other family members aren't so cool.
Oh. Next is Michael Rappaport. Comic actor. He was Squirt the Chihuahua in 2010's Pound Puppy series. Kind of one of my faves. Danny Hansen on Boston Public. The Dad, Dave Gold on The War at Home. And Agent Don Self on Prison Break. You know him for anything in particular you wanted to share?
No.
Michael Rappaport, he turns 54. David Thewlis, born David Wheeler. He's best known as the Defense Against Dark Arts teacher, Remus Lupin. He's also Ares and Sir Patrick Morgan in Wonder Woman 2017. He turns 61. Next is Kathy Ireland, who is a supermodel and actress. She turns 61. Steven Summers, director of 1999's The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. Van Helsing, G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. He turns 62.
Also the great cousin of Scott Summers.
Next is Sting.
Oh my gosh, Sting! I didn't know he was gonna be in this video. Oh, I could have brought it. Oh no, that's okay. I don't have any of this stuff with me.
What stuff?
I had the action figures.
Oh, okay.
I had like
So
several.
yes,
I had
Sting, Steve Borden, American pro wrestler for WWF and TNA Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. He turned 65.
and of course WCW, and of course the later incarnation WWF, which is WWE. Oh my gosh, he used to paint his face up like the Crow.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, he's so amazing. Like I used to cosplay as him at wrestling events.
Bird. Crow's a bird. But yeah, when I first read this, I mistakenly thought that it was Sting, the musician, and I thought maybe you thought that as well, but maybe you read the thing.
They actually got to meet. Their daughter had a picture.
Oh really?
Of him
Sting met Sting.
Yes, there's a picture of Sting, Steve Borden, like on guitar while the other Sting is watching him, and it's because he wanted to meet, like, the Sting, the musician's like, hey, my daughter's got you on her wall. Thought it would be funny if we met, or something like that, and then they hung out.
Okay. So. Next, Holly Hunter, best known as Helen Parr, Elastigirl in the Incredibles movies, which, surprisingly, when I was looking up what she was known for, it's like, her name is familiar. I know she's worth putting on here. What is she known for? And it's like, hardly anything was coming up as being familiar. And then, as a footnote, it's like, yeah, she's Elastigirl. It's like, what? Like, that's huge. She's Elastigirl. And she was also the title character of Saving Grace. She turned 66. Next is Spike Lee, director of such films as Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X, Black Klansman. He turns 67.
Very prolific actor. I mean, Director. He has been in a few things, but yes. Oh gosh, I remember. I keep rolling around some of his iconic movie scenes in my head. Like the guy goes to the pizza shop. He wants to get extra cheese on his pizza. It costs too much. So he's like, no, just give me regular. And then he goes over to the Parmesan shaker and just starts shaking it until the guy that runs the place stops him.
Next is Louis Sakar, a Newbery Medal winning author known for Holes and the Wayside School series.
Oh my gosh, we used to read those in school.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. I actually have had all, 3 of the 4 books. I believe there's been 4 now. One of them came out way later, so I didn't have a chance to collect it. But yeah, he turns 70. Next is Jimmy Vaughn, a blues rock guitarist of the Fabulous Thunderbirds, known for their song Wrap It Up. He turns 73.
That's what they play when the speech runs long, yeah?
Oh, ha ha ha. Very good. Next is John Delancey, Star Trek's Q. And My Little Pony Friendship is Magic's Discord the Draconequus. Oh, God, I love this guy. I am shocked that he is as old as he is. He turned 76 today.
Yes, he was wonderful. He's also the landlord in this show that I used to watch, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What show is that?
I don't remember the name of the show, but 2 women were renting an apartment in a rent-controlled building.
Huh.
And their apartment was directly behind the clock face of the building, and it wasn't used anymore, so it was just this really cool set piece. Yeah, they had a whole episode. Hey, I could go on and on.
Yeah, he was also in Breaking Bad. But yeah,
he was.
What's that?
Was he the Jesse Pinkman? I actually don't remember who he was in
He was
Bad.
the dad of his girlfriend, who was an air traffic controller.
I remember that.
There was a whole thing with his character. Anyhow, next is Bobby Orr, defenseman for the Boston Bruins and Chicago Blackhawks hockey teams. He is one of the greatest hockey players of all time. He is in the Hall of Fame. He turns 76. Carl Palmer, British prog rock drummer for Emerson, Lake and Palmer, as well as the band Asia. He turns 77. Brian Mulroney, former Canadian Prime Minister from 1984 to 1993. He was 84 when he passed away this past Leap Day, and he would be 85 if he were alive today, obviously. Next is Lois Lowry, author of The Giver and many other books. She turns 87. And Fred Rogers. Everybody knows who Fred Rogers is, right? Mr. Rogers?
See.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
It was such a
Won't you
pleasant
be
show.
my neighbor?
Yeah, oh, beautiful. It was such a pleasant show that even as a kid, it was like, this is kid stuff. I don't want to watch this. I would find myself watching it
Aw.
anyway because I was like, it was just so pleasant and wonderful.
Yeah.
He was just so wonderful.
So yeah, I didn't even write anything down for him other than his ages, because it's like Fred Rogers is just like an institution. I think most people would know who he is, but yeah, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's a fantastic show that many people grew up with. Hopefully you did too. He was 74 when he passed away. If he were alive today, he'd be 96.
He was a vegetarian. He said that, or possibly a vegan. He said he couldn't imagine eating something that had a mother.
Oh.
It was like, I understand if you don't like the lifestyle, but it is such a cute way to put it.
So next we have Carl Reiner, comedian and actor and screenwriter. He's done many things. I forgot to edit this one. He did the Dick Van Dyke Show. He was also director of The Comic and The Jerk. He was 98 years old when he passed away, and if he were alive today, he'd be 102. He was also Santa Claus in the Madagascar franchise.
Wow. Oh, Carl Reiner. Oh my God.
Yes, Carl Reiner.
Oh, I wasn't clicking in the bird brain here.
Was he the one that was in oh shoot, I can't think of it. The heist movie with the
I never saw Heist.
the Ocean's 11. Was he the one in Ocean's 11?
It's been so
I
long.
wanna say
I barely remember.
Some reason I
remember
didn't
George
look.
Clooney.
Yeah.
And Sandra Bullock and.
Well, in any case, he would have been 102.
Oh wait, Sandra Bullock was the second one.
Next one is Jack Barry, American game show MC for 21 and Joker's Wild and many others. 21 was the one that was famous for the scandal that got the movie made about it. He was 66 when he passed away. If he were somehow alive today, he'd be 106. Next is Vera Lynn, Dame Vera Margaret Lynn, a singer and entertainer whose music was very popular during World War II, known as the Force's Sweetheart. Songs she was much associated with include We'll Meet Again, There'll Be Bluebirds Over the White Cliffs of Dover, A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square, and There'll Always Be in England. She was 103 when she passed away, and she was alive today, she'd be 107.
I like the part about bluebirds.
So yeah, it's amazing how long she lived. British actor Sir Michael Redgrave, known for Browning version Goodbye Mr. Chips and Lady Vanishes, was 77 and would have been 116. Oswald Ozzie Nelson, actor best known for The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, which ran for 435 episodes. Wowzers. He was 69 when he passed, and if he were alive today, he'd be 118. Next is Burher Frederick Skinner, otherwise known as B.F. Skinner. Skinner! He's an American psychologist and creator of the operant conditioning chamber, also known to his chagrin as the Skinner box. He actually fought to have people stop calling it that. He didn't want his name attached to the device. But I'd say it's a fairly well-known thing. He was 86 when he passed. If you're alive today, he'd be 120. Sergei Rachmaninoff, Russian-American piano virtuoso, conductor, and composer. He was 69 when he passed. Nice. And if he were alive today, he'd be 151. And finally, now this one's probably the oldest person I've ever put on my list. Ovid, or Publius Ovidius Naso, a Roman poet who lived during the reign of Augustus. His magnum opus was a Metamorphosis, who died in the year 17. Was somewhere between the ages of 59 and 61. Apparently his exact age of death was unknown. But he would be 2,066 years old if he were somehow alive today.
So close, he almost made it.
All right, so that ends our birthday list. Now on to this day in history. On this day in history in 1345, the conjunction of Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, thought by scholars at the University of Paris to be the cause of the plague epidemic, known as the Black Death. Oh, how wrong they were. But it just goes to show you what people used to think. But hey, that's pretty cool, though. Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn all lined up. That doesn't happen very often. least I don't think. What did
They didn't write the abracadabras correctly on their outfits. That's why they got the Black Plague.
In 1774, the British Parliament passes the first of the Intolerable Acts, the Boston Port Act, which closes Boston Harbor until colonists would pay for the damages following the Boston Tea Party. I'm sure you've all heard of the Boston Tea Party.
I always wondered, could they have taken a sip of the Boston...
It would have been very salty.
Yeah, but at least it'd have tea in it.
They probably could have. I don't know if they'd want to, though. In 1800, Alessandro Volta reports his discovery of electric battery in a letter to Joseph Banks, president of the Royal Society of London.
Oh.
In 1815, Napoleon enters Paris after escape from Elba and begins his 100-day rule.
Let me tell you, if it was Idris Elba, no one would want to be escaping that mountain of a man.
Is he a mountain, really? I actually don't know how
he's
big
a something.
Okay.
He is a something.
I mean, I definitely like Idris Elba. He's cool. Following year, in 1816, the U.S. Supreme Court affirms its right to review state court decisions. In 1819, London's famous Burlington Arcade opens, the world's first shopping arcade.
Oh, neat. I wonder if they had Space Invaders.
I don't think it was invented yet. Also, it's not that kind of arcade.
Pac-Man?
That came out after Space Invaders. Pretty sure.
Halo.
Now, somebody who doesn't know any better might say Halo's not even an arcade game, but it is. They made an arcade game out of it.
There is an on-rail shooter. I believe it's an on-rail shooter.
Next is 1852. Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin is published in Boston. 2 years later, in 1854, anti-slavery activists within the U.S. Whig political party opposed to the Kansas-Nebraska Act formed the new Republican Party. Notable politicians who switched allegiance include Abraham Lincoln, Rutherford B. Hayes, Chester A. Arthur, and Benjamin Harrison.
Yes, we used to be believe it or not, for a little while, we were a three-party system. Would be nice if we could return to multiple parts, more than just the two, but...
In 1854, Boston Public Library opens in Boston, Massachusetts. Hey, what a coincidence. As the first large free municipal library in the United States. Free libraries, new concept. Kind of crazy to think.
Thought, I've never even known there to not be a free one.
Right?
You mean some places charge? I mean, outside of late books.
Yeah. In 1865, Michigan authorizes workers' cooperatives. In 1868, Jesse James gang robs a bank in Russellville, Kentucky of $14,000. Not a whole lot in today's money, but in 1868, I'm sure that was probably billions of dollars, probably millions of dollars.
Yeah, you made it. Oh my gosh, when they get that 14,000, it'd be like, Jesse James is blasting off again. Wouldn't that be crazy?
That's pretty much how they were named after him. Fairly certain. In 1883, Jan Matzeliger, I'm probably butchering that name, receives his first patent, number 274,207, jeez, for shoe lacing machine, which is mechanized shoe production. In 1886, the first AC power plant in the United States begins commercial operation in Massachusetts. Also, I didn't just cherry pick the ones from Massachusetts. It just happens to be where a lot of things went down this long ago. In 1890, General Federation of Women's Clubs is founded in the United States. In 1922, the USS Langley is commissioned in the U.S. Navy's first aircraft carrier. Next, in 1930, American engine builder Clessie Cummins sets diesel engine speed record of 80.4 miles per hour, which is 129.39 kilometers per hour. Kind of crazy to think. Most people could probably drive faster than that nowadays without much issue, but that was a speed record back then. Also, on that day in 1930, America's fast food restaurant chain, Kentucky Fried Chicken, is founded as Sanders Court and Cafe by Colonel Hartland Sanders in North Corbin, Kentucky.
Wild. Yeah, that guy created a Kentucky Fried Chicken late in his life.
What I find kind of funny was the place I got this research specified KFC, and then in parentheses, Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's like, you don't say! But I guess, the most of the KFC restaurants don't actually call themselves Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore. It's just KFC only. So it's quite possible there's a large group of people who might not even know that's what KFC stood for. So I guess that's kind of fair enough. Anyhow, in 1942, General Douglas MacArthur vows, "I came through and I shall return," after escaping Japanese-occupied Philippines. Got anything you learned growing up?
My family's from the Philippines on my mom's side.
In 1944, 2,500 women trampled guards and floor walkers to purchase 1,500 alarm clocks announced for sale in a Chicago, Illinois department store.
Can you imagine any alarm clock? Pick the wildest alarm clock you could possibly think of, and then think, would it be okay to just casually trample someone to get one of these? I mean, it's a really nice clock.
I know, right? Goodness. I just thought that was that's a wild thing, and to be recorded in history. But hopefully those people weren't severely injured and just only slightly. I don't know. Anyhow,
probably hurt seriously.
In 1948, the 20th Academy Awards "A Gentleman's Agreement," starring Loretta Young and Ronald Colman, win. Never heard of it. Also on that day, the first live televised symphony performance, Eugene Ormandy leads the Philadelphia Orchestra on CBS, following 90 minutes later by Arturo Toscanini, leading the NBC Orchestra on NBC.
Welcome to NBC.
Okay, this next one I kind of just included because I love including Japanese things on my list. In 1951, Fuji Yoshida, a city located in Yamanashi Prefecture in Japan, is the center of the Japanese main island of Honshu, is founded. Kind of crazy that it's that recent as 1951. Then in the following year, 1952, the 24th Academy Awards, An American in Paris, starring Humphrey Bogart and Vivien Leigh, win. So yeah, that's definitely some things I've heard of now. Humphrey Bogart, definitely very well known.
Again,
Play as time goes by. Of all the gin joints in all the world, she had a walk in a mine.
Hand me another roll of toilet paper, Mark.
In all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she had a walk in a mine. There we go. No complaining in the comments that I got the line wrong. Okay. In 1952, the final ratification of the peace treaty restoring sovereignty to Japan by the U.S. Senate.
Rad.
In 1954, the first newspaper vending machine is used in Columbia, Pennsylvania.
Neat.
And to think there probably aren't too many around anymore.
Yeah, they've kind of cycled out of existence. Newspapers, that is.
I mean, you can still buy them in the grocery store.
You can, but they have now been relegated to basically an antique.
You need newspapers for your bird cages, I guess, don't you?
Well, yeah. They help.
And for wrapping, I don't know.
Oh, I don't need any help wrapping.
Write in the comments if you think she needs help wrapping. In 1958, 50 inches of snow fall across the Mason-Dixon line. We've actually been having snow lately around here.
Nowhere near 50 inches.
Yeah, no, of course not. But it's still weird. It's start of spring, and yet we're still getting snow. In 1963, the first pop art exhibition happens in New York City. In 1964, ESRO is established, the European Space Research Organization. Not to be confused with ESRB. In 1967, the Supremes released the single "The Happening."
Oh, yeah, with Mark Wahlberg.
No, that's a different happening. In 1968, LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, signs a bill removing gold backing from the U.S. paper money.
Yay, our money is now truly pretend.
In 1973, NBC TV premieres a pilot episode of Police Story based on Los Angeles Police Department Joseph Wambaugh's writings. 1982, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts' "I Love Rock and Roll" goes #1 for 7 weeks.
I saw him standing there by the record machine. Da-da-da-da-da. I knew he... No, I'm not going to go any further because it actually...
I love rock and roll. Won't you another dime in the jukebox, baby? I love Rocky Road.
Oh.
So have another triple scoop with me.
It's definitely more socially appropriate than the subject matter she sings.
Oh, really? In 1984, Andy Kaufman and Fred Blassie's film My Breakfast with Blassie premieres. Certainly never heard of that, but hey, most people have heard of Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, it's a little dog that rescues boys from the well.
That's Lassie with an L. This is Blassie with a B. L.
Oh, yeah, that's your cousin.
In 1984, the U.S. Senate rejects an amendment to permit spoken prayer in public schools.
Yeah, we shouldn't. I'm sorry.
Separation of church and state.
Basically, there's too many religions to facilitate in one school. It just wouldn't be fair. You'd have to be leaving out so many.
Next, in 1985, the year later, Libby Riddles is the first woman to win the Iditarod Trail Dog Sled Race. Shout out goes to Sokoluk. So yeah, kind of crazy. I wonder how long women were allowed to participate in the Iditarod, because you got to imagine that there was probably a men's only sort of thing, or at least for some time, as most things in history were. So the fact that a woman finally won the Iditarod in that year. Next, in 1986, good year, New York City passes its first lesbian and gay rights legislation.
That's why you were born.
In 1987, the FDA approves sale of AZT, AIDS treatment. In 1988, defending champion Mike Tyson beats Tony Tubbs by TKO in round 2 at the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo for the undisputed world heavyweight boxing title.
Yeah, he's gonna be boxing again. Can you believe it?
Is he really?
Yeah. It's more of a promotional thing. He's fighting one of the Paul brothers.
Okay. In 1990, LA Lakers retire Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's number 33.
Yes. Very, very popular. Also an actor. He was in...
Airplane.
Yeah, Airplane, and then he was in that, the Bruce Lee movie.
Oh, yes, Game of Death.
Yes.
In 1991, several things happened. Court awards Peggy Lee $3 million in suit against Disney regarding home video royalties. I actually didn't look into what this case was, but yeah, it sounds pretty interesting. Michael Jackson signs a $65 million deal with Sony Records to produce 6 albums. And Supreme Court rules unanimously employers can't exclude women from jobs where exposure to toxic chemicals could potentially damage the fetus. What the? Is that not the craziest thing you've ever heard?
I've definitely heard crazier.
Okay. But it's
Have
like...
you seen who's running the country? Who's going to be running it again?
I hope not.
I'm sorry, I don't mean...
And the following year, 1992, Janice Pennington is awarded $1.3 million for an accident on the Price is Right set. Another one I kind of want to look into now. In 1995, the Beatles released a single, a cover of Shirley's song, Baby It's You, written by Burt Bacharach and Mac David, with late John Lennon as lead singer, and the first Fab Four single in nearly 10 years.
It was so late, he should have just set his alarm clock sooner.
Can you see this one, by the way? Is that anything you think I should say?
You can skip that one.
In 1999, Legoland, California, the first Legoland outside of Europe, opens in Carlsbad, California.
Lego good, Carl's bad.
In 2004, Stephen Harper wins the leadership of the newly created Conservative Party of Canada, becoming the party's first leader. In 2005, a magnitude of 6.6 earthquake hits Fukuoka, Japan, its first major quake in over 100 years. In 2012, Disney movie John Carter records one of the largest losses in cinema history with a $200 million write-down. I actually saw that movie in theaters, and I thought it was pretty good. And
Yeah,
I don't understand why people didn't like it.
I haven't seen it. I just know that when nobody says anything good about your movie, generally I agree.
Okay.
I have rarely seen a movie where everybody hates this movie, and I'm like, you know what? I liked it. I don't get it.
The one thing that I think may have hurt it was just the really terrible title. It's just John Carter. What's a John Carter?
Yeah, that definitely.
Don't want to see it.
I would disagree.
For some reason, they kept off the John Carter of Mars from the title, because I think maybe they thought putting Mars in the title would hurt it for some reason. But in any case, it's a movie about a man from Earth who gets teleported to Mars and has all kinds of adventures with aliens.
Yeah, there was already
They get
enough.
superpowers.
There was already enough of that at the time.
It was really cool.
so-
And it was a great special effects spectacle. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it cost them a lot of money.
People were getting tired, I think. I think they still are getting
Then
tired.
in 2016, Barack Obama becomes the first U.S. president to visit Cuba since 1928, arriving for a 3-day tour.
A 3-day tour.
In 2019, a woman who can smell Parkinson's disease has helped researchers identify molecules on the skin of people with the disease in Manchester, England. As well as in that day, Finland is the world's happiest country. South Sudan is the world's least happy, according to an annual World Happiness Report. Who knew that was a thing? And the Walt Disney Company acquires Rupert Murdoch's 21st Century Fox Entertainment business for $71 billion.
Yes, that was a big surprise for a lot of people because, especially if you're watching the Marvel Studios trying to get all their rights back, it was like it came out of nowhere. It's like, hey, well, we're selling this stuff, and Disney's like, yes, please.
Then in 2020, after 20 years with the New England Patriots, 6-time Super Bowl winning quarterback Tom Brady officially agrees to move to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a 2-year, $50 million guaranteed deal.
It's crazy.
And my dad switched his allegiances from the New England Patriots to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after that, because he liked Tom Brady that much.
That's wild. Yeah.
And now he lives in Florida, so...
maybe he's met him.
And lastly, in 2021, Miami Beach imposes a state of emergency and curfew as large crowds descend on the area for spring break. Yeah, it was a different time. So yeah, the people were getting way too close to each other during time of pandemic, and they were like, yeah, we can't be having this many people together in one place.
Yeah,
very bad idea.
It's crazy. I remember when that.
You'd think people would just stay home like you're supposed to.
They would, or
but,
at least keep it under wraps. If you're out there being like, I don't care about any of this and doing stuff, what? Just keep it under wraps then. We had people coming to where I work being like, oh yeah, I just got back from vacation. And I'm like, what are you doing in our store without a mask?
Oh jeez.
Like you know, there's a thing here. That's all those empty streets that are normally super busy. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
But whatever.
So anyhow, sorry to end on kind of a down note there, but I couldn't find anything from 2022 and 23.
Happy birthday!
Yes, happy birthday, Lyakonius, and happy birthday, CorgiCam. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna eat some cake in your honor.
We have cake?
No.
Why didn't you tell me? Oh, okay.
Thought,
Anyway, thanks for watching. If you would like to have a birthday video, leave it in the comments below. I've yet to get anybody to ask me for one. But if you want one, let me know. Bye.